All right, everybody, deep breath. We are a little more than an hour away from kickoff here in Seattle. Seahawks, 49ers. Winner moves on, loser goes home, and we have ourselves an inactive list from both teams. And there was some definite drama here, but I'm happy to report that the ultimate summation of these inactive lists is basically a nothing burger. So if you've been following the Seahawks on social media for the last several, I'd even go so far as to say about an hour, there was some stuff being said about how Sam Darnold was not on the field working out yet, even though Drew Lock and Jalen Milroe were. So some people were worried that maybe things had taken a turn for the worse. Maybe he wasn't going to be available. Maybe he was getting some last second work done. Nobody really knew what to make of this. But as of a couple minutes ago, we got the inactive list. You will notice Sam Darnold is not listed, which means he is active and going to play. All right, everybody, before we go any further into the video, I want to take a minute to tell you guys about a wonderful app called Sleeper, a one-stop shop for all your sports needs. You can celebrate and chat about sports in real time with other users. You can get all kinds of scores, sports news, and sports alerts with blazing fast speed. And of course, you can play in fantasy leagues and win real money on picks contests. So enjoy sports with other people in a community. Download the Sleeper app today and remember to use the promo code SBN, that is SBN, for up to $100 match on your first deposit. And they also have a free $20 entry right now, no deposit required, so pair those two up. Terms and conditions do apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states and growing. Check out the Sleeper app and have fun with sports this year. All right, so Sam Darnold, good to go, because you will also notice, and this is another kind of positive indicator, Jalen Milroe is also inactive for this game. Now, he is the emergency third quarterback, as this tweet from Seahawks PR says, but he is inactive, which must mean they have a good amount of confidence that Darnold can do what he needs to do. And of course, you still have Drew Lock, but I think that if you were genuinely concerned about Sam Darnold's ability to get through this game, you'd probably want to give yourself the Milroe package. And remember, if you use your emergency quarterback, you cannot go back to the other quarterbacks. So the fact that he is inactive and just the emergency quarterback is an indicator that we think Darnold is fine. All right, so take a deep breath. I know that was a weird hour or so there where we were all asking about Darnold. The team seemed like they were messing around a little bit. Maybe he is getting a shot, but right now we are good to go. Not saying he's 100%, and really, who is 100% right now? We are very deep into a long season, but I think that we can safely conclude that he is at least able to do the things that he needs to do physically. Now it's just a matter of, will he do it? Okay, so other than Milroe, the inactive players for the Seahawks are Jared Ivey, Josh Jones, who is the one guy who is genuinely out because of an injury right now that isn't already on injured reserve. So Josh Jones, he's out, going to be replaced, it looks like, by Amari Kite as the backup left tackle. Bryce Cabledew, Mason Richmond, also inactive. So clearly Amari Kite's the guy that we trust in this circumstance. And the one kind of sort of surprise here, I guess, would be Riley Mills, because he has been active for the last few games, but we must feel like there's not a big role for him to play in a game like this. Maybe we want a more true nose tackle out there instead. Maybe we don't want to be giving snaps to an undersized defensive end, which is interesting because I would have preferred to give the snaps to Riley Mills in this game and have a true nose tackle against the Rams. But it's not a big deal. Riley Mills barely plays anyway, and the guy we're going to have out there instead of Riley Mills is going to barely play anyway. In fact, so much so, I can't even remember the guy's name. It's not Bohanna anymore. But in fact, let me go check real quick. Yeah, okay, sorry about that, guys. It was Brandon Peely. I spaced on the name real quick there. Maybe we see a little bit of Peely out there. Kind of interesting, but ultimately pretty unimpactful. Riley Mills, nice, fun player, but I don't think there's a lot he can do for us as a rookie anyway. And in a game like this, how much are we really going to be playing our backup linemen? All right, so that's our inactive list. Yeah, that's all we got for the Seahawks side. The Niners released their inactive list as well, and they came out relatively good. We knew about Jair Brown. He's out. We knew that from a couple days ago. Isaac Guerrero, one of their backup running backs, is out, so they're going with McCaffrey and Brian Robinson Jr. Kevin Givens, one of their depth defensive tackles, which, I mean, he's not a great player, but he's a kind of guy that would be nice to have around right now because they are so thin up front. Jordan Watkins, backup receiver. Robert Beal, backup defensive end. Sebastian Valdez and Brandon Parker. Those are two guys that they called up from the practice squad, probably for financial bonuses for those guys, and then immediately deactivated. So nothing really to see there. Those are both practice squatters. So what this means is that Ricky Pearsall, D. Winters, and Luke Gifford are all active. So they all made it out of questionable, and they are all ready to play. And that could be a big deal for this team because of the fact that they are a little bit thin at linebacker. And if anybody goes down, guys like D. Winters and Luke Gifford are going to get called on. And maybe those guys aren't great, but they're better than the guys behind them. Honestly, I'm not even sure if there is anybody behind them at this point, or at least not anybody that you would ever want to put on a football field in a playoff game. All right, so yeah, Pearsall is kind of the big one here. Now, I don't know what to think about this, but a couple days ago, Ricky Pearsall said that he thinks he's going to play, but he can't really make quick twitch movement, and he can't really get tackled too hard without getting hurt. So I don't know if he's trolling. That seems like a really bad thing to say if it's true. It seems like a really bad thing to be true, but it also seems like a really bad thing to say if it is true before a game. So I don't know what he's really going to be capable of. I don't know how long he's going to last, but if he is telling the truth when he says that, that's an interesting way to go into a postseason game. Saying, yeah, I'm playing wide receiver against the top defense in football, but I can't get hit too hard or I'm going to get hurt. So we'll see where the way things go. But that is the inactive list on both sides. Should be my last video until after the game. I guess there's a scenario where I make a video at halftime, but I've never done that before. I don't think there's much of a market for it. So I've thought about doing that, doing like a quick halftime video between halves, but I don't know. I don't know if there would be a lot of interest in it. So I want to watch the end of this Buffalo Denver game that has actually gotten fairly compelling. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Everybody strap in. We're an hour away. Going to be an interesting game. I'm ready for a lot of interesting things to happen. I'm ready for the unexpected to happen. But I'll tell you guys, I'm feeling good. I am feeling good about where this team is right now. I'm feeling good about this matchup. And I'm ready to live with it. I'm ready to live with the results of tonight's game. I'm ready to live with the results against this Niners team that is missing so much and has had to put so much on the line to get to where they are right now. And you've got this Seahawks team that is well rested and ready to go, even if we didn't have the cleanest bye week ever. All right, see you guys later. Go Hawks. See you guys after the game. Remember, I'm starting on Bleacher, then I come to YouTube later.